Hi guys, welcome to Andrew and Irene's channel where we are documenting our travels as we sail our yacht Saracen, a Beneteau Oceanus 473, around the world, very slowly. We set off from St Pierre early at 6:30 in the morning as we'd cleared out the afternoon before. Our plan was to sail to Rosso, the capital of Dominica. We had a sail in full sun with a northeast or east wind that ranged from 6 to 28 knots. We arrived just after 12 o'clock. We motored into the bay and the anchorage just didn't look very appealing to us, nor was there much room to drop the hook as it was full of moorings. So we decided to keep heading north to Prince Rupert Bay at Portsmouth, at the top of the island, to drop the anchor. As we were on the lee side of the island, we had to motor all the way as we were in the wind shadow of the island, much to our disgust. As the swell was meant to turn northerly again in a few days, we should be out of its way in here.
You're a live flyby and to use Google Earth. And Irene will point to where we are if she can get it right. Correct.
We check in the following morning. As we're only planning on staying for 2 weeks, we can check in and out on the same day. Very convenient and super easy. We bump into a couple called Maurice and Jackie. They kept their boat in a Drawson a few years ago, and they have a fantastic boat, a Beneteau Oceanus 473, just like ours. Their boat is called Fiddler's Green. We have a short walk to the National Park of Cabrits. We chose to climb the easternmost hill. The Cabrits are home to Fort Shirley. Some of the buildings on the West Hill have been restored. However, the ones on the Eastern Hill are just derelict ruins. Dominica was part of the British Empire, and you can really see its influence on the island. It was granted full independence in 1979. The economy was also centred around bananas and suffered as a result of the 1980s banana wars. English is the language, cars drive on the left, and the road signs are like in the UK. Dominica was devastated by the deadly Hurricane Maria in 2017, which wiped out 95% of the housing stock and killed 65 people. The views to Guadeloupe and Les Saints were pretty spectacular. We liked how the canyons were still left to the elements, and they're still there after all these years. One morning we had planned to go a walk, but we were intercepted at the dinghy dock by Umar, who was about to set off on an island tour. It sounded like good fun and good value, so we jumped into the minibus, along with 4 other people. First on the itinerary was a visit to a chocolate factory, and we get a guided tour, plus tasting and purchases of some expensive chocolate. It was really very yummy. This was followed by a trip to the Red Rocks. The Red Rocks are quite unique and spongy to walk on. We walked a little further over the rocks and headed down to a magnetic black sand beach. The sand was heavy, glittery and slightly magnetic. We then all enjoyed a local Dominican lunch, which was delicious. After lunch, we then went on a guided tour of the Kalinago territory on the west side of the island. The Kalinago are the indigenous people of the Caribbean. Back in the day, they were very feared warriors, and allegedly were into cannibalism. They were never enslaved, and during the 1600s they were granted land on the east side of Dominica, where they still live today. Then, finally a dip in the river, which was very refreshing after the heat of the day. Andrew jumped into the river from a height. We end up being invited aboard another yacht for after-day drinks and get a fantastic history lesson by a gentleman whose ancestors were one of the first settlers on Bermuda. It was an amazing story and a fabulous end to the day. This excursion is on mostly everyone's bucket list. Visitors are not allowed to go up the river on their own boat, so we booked this with Elvis, who was one of the local Pays boys. We went on the trip with another couple, Morris and Jackie. The trip takes 3 hours and we travel 1 mile into the rainforest. We see herons, coots, crabs and fish. We eventually end up at Elvis's cousin's farm for a beer. During the tour, Elvis points out various fruit trees and says that all the fruit from them and many others is just wasted, as there's no infrastructure on the island to process them. One of the scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 was filmed here. The witches scene, apparently. Foe Valley Gorge Walk was our next activity. This walk follows section 14 of the Waitukabuli long distance footpath. We passed the very plush 5-star intercontinental Dominica Cabrits Resort and Spa. It only costs £7,000 a week, so that may be why we only see 3 people at the pool. We cut off the footpath and head into the rainforest, which was very, very humid. We saw loads of iguanas, wild goats and other creepy crawlies. We walked some 2 kilometres where we eventually stopped at the end of the gorge. This was really quite dramatic, and all around us was a deep high crevice about 50 metres above us. Oh, and lots of mosquitoes. We returned by the same route. We leave Dominica as we're running short of our 2-week visa, which was about to expire, but we will be back again. We absolutely loved Dominica. We set sail for Les Saints, a small island archipelago in the south of Guadeloupe. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Saracen out. See you.